Hi, folks. Look who's with me. It's Norm. Norm used to have a channel.
Well, I'm still in the process of getting that channel, but yeah, I used to have one. Yes.
So I've been answering questions from all of your fans.
Thank
and
you so much. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all, sir. And so a lot of them are still wanting to know what's the update, what's going on, what can you tell us?
All right. Well, I did. It's been very weird with YouTube. I get to talk to I talk to somebody maybe once a day via email, and so this is a very slow process. But anyway, what I did was I had made another channel, and some of my I named it Board Game Museum, and some of my subscribers found it, maybe 100 of them or so, and I was doing updates through the channel, but then YouTube wanted me to clear out everything so they could do the transfer in there. Apparently, you can't have any videos, anything at all. So I had to basically delete that channel, and I've cleaned out everything. The last I heard, and this was right before Thanksgiving, is that they finished their investigation, and the last they told me was that they were going to transfer the channel back. I haven't heard anything since then. The only thing I've heard is that they're working on getting everything transferred. I'll tell you what, if you want to learn patience, there's two things you can do: have a kid and get your channel hacked. You will learn patience because it has just been very, very slow going.
You will learn patience. Yeah.
The thing I hate is that I don't have any way to let anybody know what's going on because I can't put anything on my YouTube channel, and that's the main source of communication that I have with everybody. So, so all I really can do at this point is just wait and pray that they get this thing going. I mean, they've already cleared everything, so everything should be coming back. I just don't know when that's going to be. And, the person that I talk to, the middleman, is basically just, says, I'll let you know as soon as I hear something. But I usually email them every couple of days just to kind of see if there's anything that's happened, just to stay on top of things. But it's just been a very slow process. But I'm very thankful that none of my videos have been deleted. I'm going to get all those back. All my subscribers, really good. I'm going to be getting those back as well. Any money that I've lost because of this hack, I'm going to be getting that back. So I'm going to be getting back pretty much everything. So I'm very thankful for that.
That's really awesome.
And to my subscribers, I cannot thank you enough for all of your support. The ones that have contacted me, thank you so much. Matt, thank you so much for helping me by communicating with everybody. This channel has been a great love of mine, and it's almost like someone just broke into your house and just stole it from you. That's what it's like, and you're having to go through all this red tape just trying to get it back. It's been interesting. And I say this knowing full well that YouTube could have the channel back tomorrow, so I'm not going to go bashing him or nothing like that.
Right.
But, anyway, I did start up a little Monopoly page called Monopoly Mania on YouTube. It's just so I'll have something to do. I got a couple of new games up there, and it's just giving me a way to do videos at least until they get the channel back, and then once it gets back there, I'll probably transfer everything over. But anyway, that's the latest I've heard. I would imagine that it should not take any longer than 3 weeks, I would guess, because it took them a month to finish the investigation. I highly doubt it's going to take them that long to transfer the channel. It shouldn't take that long, but it is what it is. So I'm just patiently waiting and looking forward to getting back into the vintage board game thing and everything. I miss doing it for sure.
Yeah. Tabletop Island, sorry to hear that.
Hey, Tabletop. Me too, man. It's been a journey, that's for sure. But we will be coming back. I don't know when, but I know it's going to be soon. I just wish I had an absolute date, but I don't. But
so let me ask you this: what can subscribers expect to see when that channel is back and rolling again? I'm sure there's going to be a tribute to Matt Wilkins video, but besides that.
Well, I'm definitely going to do I think I'm going to call it hack, but now I'm back video for sure. And
yes,
I'll definitely, I may detail the journey or something like that, just in case. I'm sure other people get hacked, and it's a very tedious process. So at the very least, I figure I can do a video of my experience just so people will know what to expect, So I'll be doing that. I did do a review of Curse of the Idol, and I'm going to have that up. and I did about 4 Monopoly videos. One of them being the longest game ever that just came out. And I've learned one thing: if you want to make some quick money, look up. If you know these Monopoly games are coming out like crazy, but sometimes they only release them like with one seller, like Target exclusive or Amazon exclusive.
Right. I've noticed they've done that a lot lately.
Yeah, if you see that, maybe you might want to consider getting the game, because twice now the game sold out, and now it's been selling for like, I saw a copy of that game go sell for $200. I could not believe it. I got it for 20. Just a little for Christmas money, I guess. But I would imagine that everything's going to look the same. I mean, nothing as far as the videos have changed. It's going to basically look the same. I don't know if I'm going to have to redo the playlist or the artwork or anything like that, but that shouldn't take too long. But I'm going to just basically get it back to where it was and just keep on moving ahead.
Okay. Now for something very important.
Yes.
What a truer statement was never stated there before, Mary. Thank you so much.
Please.
Mary's absolutely a wonderful person.
Hi, Mary.
Love her to death. She's fantastic. Let me ask you this. And folks, let me just tell you what Norm and I were just talking about prior to coming on here was, one, we wanted to give a channel update and ask what he was doing. Two, if you have a question for me or Norm, go ahead and answer it. We can answer some now. We got some time. And then secondly, we were going to go, here you go. Man of Dew. This guy is cool, man. I've talked to him a few times. Love that big Mountain Dew cup there. It says Millennial Monopoly was crazy there for a while, then went bargain bin prices. And he's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one, I think last year it came out. It sold out at Walmart, and it was selling, I think I sold a few copies for about $40, and I think I got it for 20. That was one of those deals. But like, man, you just never know those Monopoly games. I mean, they're super popular. But I've realized, if they're just going to be around in one place, only sold in one place, they're probably going to end up going for big bucks because they're going to sell out. It's crazy. But yeah. I will say this: Monopoly Speed, the new one that came out, is a very cool game. If you like fast, chaotic versions, it's very cool.
So, what was my other question to you? Oh no, I was going to tell everyone that coming up, I've been promoting the podcast. It's coming out on iTunes and YouTube now on my YouTube channel, and It's Luke from Down from the Attic. He's a fantastic guy. If you didn't check him out, and I talked to him earlier. I got to have this guy on video, and so we're going to do me, him, and Norm from the Board Game Museum. We're going to do something about big. Vintage games we still want.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Norm, did you see the Washington picks I got this week?
I haven't yet. I need to check that out. I actually talked to him yesterday on email. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out for sure. Thanks for reminding me. Now
it's my turn. By the way, the people that they're asking me questions are way better looking than the people asking you questions, Norm. I just want to tell you that. So it says, Matt, we should play Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. Yes. Do you know a fun fact about Trivial Pursuit? I've only won. Now, I have never played Star Wars. I've only won Trivial Pursuit, the original game. I've only won it once. And that was because the girl that I was partnered with was super smart. I think I got like the sports question and maybe entertainment or history. No, it had to be history because I'm a history major. And those are the only two. And she got every single one. And that's why we won. I can never win that game.
Yeah. I only know I'm good at certain things but not others. I'll never know anything about literature, like stuff like that. But there's other stuff I know about. But yeah, Trivial Pursuit's never been my game either.
Man of Dew is getting the tropical one you told him about for Christmas.
Oh, the tropical tycoon version?
Yeah, Monopoly.
If you like Monopoly, you may know this. Who's that guy from the Dice Towers? Tom?
Tom, yeah.
That game is his #1 most underrated game one year. That one, I was shocked because I knew he didn't like Monopoly, but it's a very cool version. It's got it's very cool. They
Yeah.
don't just have houses and hotels. They've got casinos. You can build restaurants. You can build things like that, and they have different ability, different things that they do. And then your character has a certain job, and that job carries with it advantages. I think one character gets more money when they pass go. Another one gets out of jail for free all the time. Things like that. So they added a lot of really cool rules to the game that fixed up a lot of the old Monopoly problems. So
Okay. And if you've never met Tom, I'm 6'3". Tom is 6'6". And whenever I talk to him, I met him at a few cons in the past, and I have to crane my head and look up at him. And he played. I was on the Dice Tower. I guest starred on the what's their show? Their Monday show. Board Game Breakfast. Yes, I was on Board Game Breakfast, and I got a few of my fans going, "Oh my gosh, Matt was on Board Game Breakfast." And I was being funny, and I wasn't being relative to the subject. And Tom at first was not going to put it on because I was being too goofy. Yeah. And he decided to go ahead and do it. And I'm never going to get if I talked to Tom, I could probably get a regular spot on there. But doing a regular board game thing on there, I want it to be unique, and I don't know what else could be unique. And so I was making a little joke about a con I went to, and he just thought it was a little too cheesy. Yeah, but he played it anyway, so that was really kind of him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I've emailed him a couple of times. He's responded back.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. Author wants to know what the best version of best version of Star Wars Risk. I've only had one version, and that was the Clone Wars version. I didn't care for it that much. I gave it to my nephews.
Yeah,
you know what?
Star Wars Risk.
Never mind. I hear the newest Star Wars Risk, the black version with the Millennium Falcon and Luke and Darth Vader fighting in one side, and it's like a mini version of the Queen's Gambit. It's Queen's Gambit Light, and I have heard that the newest version, author of Star Wars Risk, is very good.
Oh yeah, I haven't played either. I haven't played Star Wars Risk, but I've heard a lot about the newer version too, and it sounds really good.
Okay, hey, Mary. Now Mary's asking a question for Norm. See if Norm cares. Okay, so Norm, what's your favorite? Norm. For people who didn't see your top 100 vintage list, what was your number one?
My number one was Hero Quest. I put that one as my number one.
And Hero Quest is pretty epic.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't play that game a lot, but just because of the history of the game, and it's unlimited in what you can do. It's a fantastic game. But my all-time favorite game, that's my number one on the list. But as far as games that I play a lot, that's a tough. I love playing Fireball Island. I probably would put that way up there as far as games I play, because I play that game a lot with my family. Man, favorite game of all time. I'll throw Fireball Island in there right now, I would say. But that's a good question. I'll tell you what, I have played. I just started playing Castles of Burgundy, and I don't know if you've ever played it. I love that game. That is a fantastic game.
I need to play it. It does not look like my wheelhouse, but I need to play it.
I love that game. It's a Euro game, and it's a classic from what I understand. But it's fun. It's not hard to learn, but once you get it, you have a lot of decisions that you can make, and you're just trying to figure out what you want to do. It's fun. But I think as far as one of my newer games, that would definitely be one of my new favorites is Castles of Burgundy.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If cuteness came in little small cubes, how tall could you stack them without them falling over?
What was the first part?
If cuteness came in little small cubes, how tall could you stack them? The correct answer is 5 feet 4 inches and a half.
Well, there you go. You got that answer perfectly.
There you go. I don't know. This came to me. Anyway, Man of Dew says, have you seen the insane double standard, double board twice as long as Monopoly? Have you seen that? I haven't seen it.
If it's from the newest version, the longest game ever.
Oh, you have?
That's a big board. It's more longer than it is big, but it's big. Yeah. And the interesting thing is they have 66 properties in there, but they only have like 28 property cards. And the way it works is they tripled up all the properties. So there's 3 Baltics, 3 Mediterraneans, and all that. But once you buy 1 Baltic, you own all 3 of them. But what you can do is if you buy houses and hotels, you can move them around. like around the board. So if there's a player that's closer to like another one of your properties that you own, you can move the houses up there and try to bust them. It's got some very interesting rules, but and we have it, but I don't know if we're going to play it. That would probably take us about 5 years.
Hey, to be honest, Man of Dew, Norm would be great on Board Game Breakfast. He's way more interesting.
Oh, I think you've got a great personality.
I think my favorite video so far of us has been when we were playing Pac-Man and I was accusing you of cheating while I'm grabbing pellets off the board.
Yeah, and I happened to watch the replay of that, and I could not believe you did that. Oh my God!
Right in front of him, folks.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Okay, what games are on your Christmas list, Norm?
I got what did I put on? I got the new Disney. I got one of the Disney Villainesses on there. Evil Comes Prepared. I love Villainous.
I hear that's really good. I think this Christmas my buddy's coming back in, and he's gonna bring Villainous.
You're gonna love it, Matt. It's I don't. That's probably the only Disney game I own, but it's fantastic if you're a Disney fan. It's a fantastic game in general. Old games. I don't know if I'm going to get this. I put a Heroescape Swamp of Tomorrow on there. You know, that's that game that has all those building tiles on there, the Heroescape series. I put that in there, and I'm trying to think what else. I can't remember what else, but I know those two for sure.
While he's thinking, I do have one. I don't want to say it because there's a cheap copy on eBay right now, and I don't want someone buying it out from under me. I don't care at the same time. It's not an older game. It is, but it's a newer game more than it's an older game. But I don't know. I don't care. Manitoba. It looks interesting, but it's way too expensive. Not worth it. Okay. Here we go. It is red.
That is a personal question. Wow. That's deep.
Yeah. Norm, what's your favorite color?
Purple, I would say.
Waitful, he says. Tabletop Island says Fireball Island says his. Oh yeah, well I knew it was because I love your little theme there. It looked like Fireball Island.
Yeah,
I noticed that.
Yeah, it looks good.
He says hence the channel name.
Yeah, I've been trying to introduce some people, like some of my friends, to the older games. But anytime I bring out like those big epic games like It from the Pit and stuff like that, their jaws drop because they've never seen anything like it before. So yeah, but I remember I used to play a lot of Millborns with my family when I was growing up. That was one of my favorite games growing up too. Was the Millborns game? I think that's how it's pronounced.
So what are my thoughts on the Spartacus game? Still, it's great. It's a great game. I wish there were expansions coming out for Spartacus. Hold on. Christmas list. It is way too expensive, so I passed up on it. But now I've never seen it again. And one guy backed out of buying it, so it went back on eBay, and I was like, I cannot spend that much money. It was like $100 or $150. It was a lot of money. It was the Spartacus Primus Edition play mat.
Oh, the play mat.
It's the big, nice mat that you put everything on. I have it for, I have the, I can't remember what the name of it is. I think it's called the Big Damn Map of the Universe. No, the Whole Damn Universe thing is what it's called. But it's the big Firefly map. I love that. The Spartacus version is really nice. It's got it feels like a mouse pad, that kind of niceness.
Yeah, those are nice.
But that thing was like, with shipping, I think it was close to 200. I was like, I can't do it. And it's one of my favorite games.
Man, I hope that goes down in price. But it is close to Christmas, so it might go down, after the new year.
You went out. She liked your answer of purple better than my color of red.
I'm close. I'm closer to your height too, Mary. So 5 footer all the way.
That's right. Oh, look at this.
Guys brought vintage to me. I began this venture, then I got really rare ones and got obsessed. It's really easy to get obsessed once you start playing some of the older games. I started getting obsessed probably early on.
Tabletop, you can find Spartacus for cheap. Just keep looking.
Yeah.
You can find it for cheap. People are dumping that game with the expansions. I've seen it for pretty cheap.
Yeah, every so often, if you'll find it for a decent price. It takes a little time sometimes, But Matt and I have both gotten really lucky. Like we'd get games for half of what they're worth on eBay, just out of luck sometimes.
I think the best deal I ever got was that Legends of Zagor for $50 in the shrink.
That's insane, man. I think it was like going for around $300-400 or so.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, when Matt and I had to do it, I think we did a video. I actually had to stand on a stool just so I would come close to matching his height. I'm like 5'7", I think. So I understand. I understand the stool.
Tabletop, I'll be honest, I've seen the game go for, with all the expansions, like $20, 25. I mean, check the BGG marketplace, and the base game you can find for I think 15 even. It's been a while, but to be honest, I still see on auctions, I still see the game selling for dirt cheap with at least one expansion. I'm going, are you serious? And the expansions are still online somewhere, and they're pretty cheap too. They're on clearance. I was like, oh, it hurts my heart to see really good games that are cheap. But I mean, hey, that's good for people who are collecting. That's what my top 100 right now and my top 200. People have been like, wow, this is that's a great game. People pass over games because they look and see them. They say, oh, it's super cheap. It's probably not a good game if they're discounting it. Like Sons of Anarchy going for $12 brand new. Get out of here. Here.
I know too, like if you I've actually contacted people on Board Game Geek before. Like that's how I got the it from the pit. You trying to find it online was insane, but I saw there was a guy that was trying to trade it out. I think he wanted to or something. But I emailed him and I said, hey, would you be willing to sell it to me? And he said, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $10 plus shipping. And it was like never used. So, and then I found another guy on Facebook somewhere that had the rest of the parts that I needed. So I combined both of them. So
yeah, I remember you did that.
Yeah. There's a lot you can do. You don't just have to trust eBay. There's a lot of other sources out there. Ooh.
What's my favorite flavored popsicle? What's the one if I had any cherry?
I don't know
go for the cherry one in the fridge.
Yeah. Popsicles are wonderful. I haven't had one in a while myself.
We still got some from like 2 summers ago.
Now I want those things like that. That on Walmart, pick up groceries.
Get popsicles. Okay, this is another one. Yeah. Manadoo, I hate that when you go looking for, and sadly, some of the games that I mentioned, like Finca recently, Finca's out of print. I hate talking. Queen's Gambit, which I love, is out of print.
Yeah,
I hate talking about games that are out of print and hard to get and too expensive. And even on my review, I say, guys, it's a great game, but it's like Rococo. Rococo's an okay game. It is not worth the money people are asking for. Like I said, I would pay $15. I'd pay $15 for it. $20, maybe. I don't know. Maybe if it came with the expansion, $20. But you're looking at $200 is what they'd sell it with the expansion. I'm like, I would not pay that. But I am glad I got a big sale. And just a minute, let me catch up with the comments here real quick. But I got it from the pit for $30 as well. This is back before I was really big into vintage games. I thought I gotten gypped. I was like, man, I'm having to pay almost full price for this. Because back then I didn't know it was a rare game, and then later on I found out how back then it was selling for $100 online. Yeah. I didn't know that until I went on eBay. I was like, I bet it's $20 on eBay, and I was like, what? It was like $100 back then.
Yeah, they don't pop up very often. I mean, it's just one of those things you have to watch out for. But yeah, I gotcha. I lost track of thought.
Cherry, I guess. I guess I'd be a cherry popsicle.
Well, I guess
it's red.
For me, I figure I have to go grape since purple is my favorite color. And speaking of which, Matt, have you gotten any new games lately that you like?
I have not gotten any vintage games. I did get 2 newer games in recently that hopefully are going to get played. There's a few more coming. Black Friday had one decent sale that I picked up on. I showed people one. One was the expansion to Wingspan.
Yeah.
I got some kibbles and bits, like some upgraded parts for the game. I'm looking forward to playing that one. A few other ones coming in. Mary asked if I've ever played Disney Seen It. I think so. I've played Seen It. I can't remember if it's Disney. I want to say it was. I want to say that's the one we have.
I've seen that in thrift stores here and there. I think we actually have that game. My wife does.
Man, seeing it was something that was big back in the day.
Oh yeah,
And then it just burned out. Like everyone bought a copy because you always have copies of seeing
thrift stores. If you love seeing it, you'll love thrift stores. I see them at every store that I go to.
Here it is. The only game he spent premium on was Tornado Rex. But Tornado Rex is a great game.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you this, Matt. I may have told you this. I was at a thrift store in Pensacola and they had that game there. But they wanted, I think, $70.
You told me, yeah. You told me, yeah.
Which I normally would have got, but it was missing parts, and the two boards were almost a little bit faded, and the other one wasn't. And I kind of, I don't have the game, so I would have resold it. But I think I probably would have.
If it was faded, I wouldn't have minded that. But missing parts, I can't forgive that.
Nah, yeah, they cost too much.
Should be orange. What? I've never lost. Wow, she'd never lost Dizzy seen it in 15 years. Then you would definitely beat me because I'm not.
I always say that. Like, I've never lost a Monopoly Cheaters Edition, but I've only played it once. So,
Norm, what's your favorite candy?
Oh gosh, Twizzlers.
Well, I have a friend called Ryan Kennel, and he likes candy corn. But I'm going to go with favorite candy. Like, if I go to the store, I love Heath Bar.
Mm-hmm.
I love a Heath Bar. I do. Those are good. I like Zeros every once in a while. Even though I hate white chocolate, I will always get a Zero.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Twix.
And
Twix.
Runts I love. Nerds I love. And I think it's the chewy lemon heads that have the different flavors. Those are really good, too. Those are my go-to in the movie theaters.
Oh, his favorite vintage game is Tornado Rex.
That is, yeah. I think I shared something with someone. I showed that to a couple of friends of mine, and when I was showing them how to play it, I shot out the spinner, and they were just laughing their heads off at that, just at the thought of that, and they loved it. They absolutely loved the game. Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever had red vines. I have had Pop Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
They still make those?
Yeah, they do. I see them.
Ooh, Norm, I'll let you answer this one.
Whoa, the component.
That's hard. I like miniatures, maybe. Maybe the figures for me. That's a hard one.
A component. Well, it's probably not my favorite, but you know that game, The Inventors, that has that little dice component?
Yes, it shuffles it all. It's like a little dice tower. It's like a little dice tower. That is really cool. Ooh. Now you're thinking mechanisms now. Oh, man. That is really hard for me. Yeah, that is really hard for me.
I've talked about them, and some of my, like, I love this, but I can't, my brain's like, I can't think at the moment.
I know. There's so many good ones, though. That's a hard one. You have to give us some time on that one. Goodness gracious. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, Tabletop Island, that is the discussion that Norm, Luke, and Luke from Down from the Attic, if you haven't seen him, please check out his channel. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss that on we'll probably do it live. Why not?
Live cast.
Why not? So people will be there. Maybe do a live cast on that.
Yeah, his videos are great.
Even though we probably won't answer that many questions because we'll be talking about. I don't know. We'll find out. But we are going to talk about the vintage games we're looking for. And I'll be honest, on the podcast, you're going to hear me looking up games. Luke has such a deep knowledge of vintage games, just like Norm does. And there are games that I didn't even know about. I was like, oh my gosh, he's just naming them off like he's always known about them. I was like, oh my gosh, you're schooling me on this. So it's going to be a really good conversation. I'm building that up. I don't know when that is because he's in the UK, of course, but we're going to try to get something together because he was an awesome guy. Please check out the podcast and please go to Luke's channel. It's fantastic. Please go to Norm's channel. He doesn't even run it right now, but go to it.
Yeah, it's coming back prayerfully and soon.
Hey, Norm, do you feel like vintage game market is growing?
You try to flip games in Frankenstein the same game to make complete ones that sell. I have flipped games. That's what I do on eBay. I'll go to thrift stores, look for games, and then I'll sell them on eBay. I make, it's kind of like a side gig, I guess you can say. Vintage market, You know,
I'm going
have
to say yes because prices are going up on vintage games.
they are going up. As far as whether people are playing them more or not, I don't
That's
know,
true.
because I don't get a lot of views on the vintage board games. Most of them are under 1,000 hits usually, um, but that's not to say that if I were to bring it out to a group of people that have never played them, they would want to play them. So
I, I think, and this is what I told Norm a long time ago. Norm had like a couple of hundred subscribers. And he was
yeah,
going, man, I don't know how I'm going to get my channel going. I was like, dude, you have the unique advantage of being the only person right now, besides the retro board gamer on Board Game Breakfast,
hmm
but he only posts once a month. He's
right,
interesting. He doesn't have his own channel. I said, besides him, you're the only one doing it, and you're doing it consistently. I said,
yeah,
I'm doing it every so often, but you're doing it consistently. I
yeah,
said, that alone, that uniqueness of your channel is going to grow. And you are at what, 15, 12,
15,000 at last count. Yeah,
15,000 subscribers now. And good on you because you came up with a unique uh, subject that people appreciate.
yeah. There's a
So,
lot of people that. Yeah, thank you so much. I know there's a lot of people that appreciate the older games, and I had someone say, it's like it's almost like a knowledge base, or even like just because these are games that a lot of people don't know about that are great, and I'm just I'm glad that I was able to do it. I'm glad that you do the vintage board game reviews too. I love sharing your stuff.
yeah,
I
it's
want
been
more people. I'd love for more people to know about the board game.
and probably even though I have not gone through, I'm pledging Luke for these videos, even though he has not said yes to
Mhm.
this one. Next year, I will probably do a top 100 vintage, but only if Norm and hopefully Luke do it with us too. We can just hold up our game and talk about it, in rounds of 5 at a time or 10 at a time. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I know that, and you've seen this on the Dice Tower, like when Tom and the other two guys are talking
Yeah.
about their favorite games, they just kind of do it together. I would love to do it that way.
And I would do it that way because my vintage game list is not going to grow that much this year. I just know it's not in 2020. And I wasn't going to do another vintage top 100. I said, well, it's going to be
Yeah.
the same games, maybe shuffled in a different order.
Same here.
But that's no fun. Now, did I add a few more? Will I add a few more games in 2020 from my regular list? Yes. Will I add some vintage games? Most likely. Most likely. I'll add a handful.
Yeah.
However, I noticed that this past year, I didn't add as many as I have been in the past. And so I said, well, I'll do it this once and then wait 5 years. But doing it a little more unique way with other people would be fun. That's a fun idea.
Yeah.
And so I think I would do it that way.
Yeah, I don't see my list changing much either.
But I wouldn't do it separate. I mean, I don't see there wouldn't be that many newer games in my collection for vintage.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've got most of the vintage games that I really, really want. There's maybe a few that I haven't got yet. And every so often I run into a game at a store that really surprises me. So, yeah, but I don't think my list would really change that much. It would, like you said, it would just shuffle around some, but that would be a lot of fun to do.
Well, that's a lie. I did play Dungeons and Dragons, and guess who it was with? Brian Borg from the Twin Sons Foundation. One of the first times I met him, I was bothering him about, meeting up with him and us doing stuff and hanging out. And of course, this is before he really knew me, and he guessed right. He knew I was a crazy person, and he didn't want to hang out. He was kind of hesitant to bring me around his friends.
Yeah.
Because it was a D&D night. I actually played my first round of D&D with him. And it's a great story because all the people, a D&D group is kind of sacred. They're kind of a team together. You don't invite outsiders in. So he had to get permission from them. He said he's from out of town. He doesn't have anywhere to go. And so they let him in, but they were kind of looking at me warily. And then the dungeon master gave me a roll, pulled me aside, told me what I can reveal, what I can't reveal, told me my true origin, stuff like this. I mean, he had it all. I was impressed. He had it all written out. So when they finally got to the town, this is halfway through about 30, 40 minutes into the quest, they got to me. And then I got into character, and they were shocked because I had a character and I started going, and I had a bundle of fun doing it. Now, I haven't done it since. My buddy Benjamin, who is on Saturday Morning Sam Flange with me, he is a dungeon master too. He used to do D&D for West End Games, the Star Wars ones. He saw my collection. He's like, wow, this is like everything I always dreamed I wanted in college that you have right now. He said, do you run, sessions? I went, no. He went, we need to run some sessions too. I said, totally. But then he moved away. So, whoops.
But it is once, like in high school, I think. I don't really remember much after that. But
do you guys play virtual board games or board game apps? I don't. Norm?
Scrabble. I played that with my uncle several times. I love playing Scrabble with him. And the Castles of Burgundy has an app. I've been playing that. And it's okay. Like half the selections don't work for some reason. But I love playing the app. It's a fun game. But other than that, not really. I mainly just stick with the tabletop.
I have no idea.
In character.
I have no idea. That's it. Well, you know what? The adventure from Fireball Island.
Yeah.
I always imagined that was him for years, the hiker.
I'm gonna have to go with one of the guys from Mario Kart. Which one did I use? Was it Bauer? I can't remember, but one of those guys I would definitely go with.
Probably Bauer, because he cheats too.
Yeah. Bauer. There was a character I used. Yoshi's cool too, but yeah, probably somebody from Mario Kart would be mine. Yeah.
Man, I never get this many board game questions. This is awesome. Okay, here we go. Manager, how do you find out about vintage games or resources you use and websites? For me, Man of Doom, I just happen to just stumble across them. I'm just randomly looking at different stuff. I typed in Milton Bradley, Mattel, Hasbro, vintage game or whatever, and I just went through eBay and would find something randomly. I do a search for Waddington games because I think they're very impressive and very unique. There's some cool ones there. That's what I do. Norm, what do you do?
Board Game Geek is a great place to go.
Yes.
That's the main hub. There's a place called Don's Game Closet. He has thousands of games, but he has all the games separated by publisher, and most of them are older. So you can just click on the publisher. It'll have every single game. It'll have links to it as what the game's about and things of that nature. So,
for instance, Treasures and Trapdoors is probably on my want list. That looks like a cool game.
Treasures and Trapdoors? I've never heard of that.
It's a Waddington game. It's really cool. He loves the idea of the top 100. Well, yes, we'll probably do that.
I would love to do that, man. That'd be
yeah.
Great.
That does make me happy.
Yeah, I think the three-way conversation would definitely be cool.
I agree. Norm deserves way more subscribers. I don't know about me.
You do, man. I appreciate
Norm's legit. Norm's legit.
Well, I'll tell you, Matt is probably one of the first guys I met when I first started the channel. I don't remember when exactly that was, but I didn't, it was way back in the beginning, So we go way back.
Oh, Mary likes D&D. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that. She writes characters and everything. She does a really good job too. Building characters and everything.
That's very cool. I don't know much about D&D myself or Warhammer. I know that there's a lot of Warhammer groups around here too.
Words Against Friends? No, Words with Friends. I do not. Have you played it, Norm?
I used to, and I haven't played it since. I just mainly been doing Scrabble, but I got like a 150-point word one time, and that was fun.
Lost Valley of the Dinosaurs. That is also on my list of why you're guessing all of mine, Tabletop.
All right, I'm going to throw Waddingtons as a company. I have one Waddingtons game, and it's called 4000 AD. Have you ever heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
I haven't played it yet. We've had it for like a year, and we haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I'm going to throw Waddingtons in there. Now, Fur, you remember Fur, the guy from South Korea that I did that little feature on? You remember him, Matt? He had like 600 games. Yeah, he has a whole bunch of those kind of games, and I'm like, wow. I think he had a Frankenstein game and something else, but they look really good. All right.
Okay, which board game? And this is a question right up Norm's alley because we talk about this all the time. Which board game do you want to get reprinted? Like let's say, because obviously Restoration Games is probably who he's talking about here. So, and uh, Colum Botron, you don't understand this, but this is one of the things that when Norm and I ever get together and talk, we always bring up this subject.
Oh yeah.
And Norms has always said Dark Tower, which now is happening. So now that Dark Tower is happening, what is the next one you want?
If I were to choose,
since obviously Restoration Games listens to Norm.
Well, I would love it if they could get Star Wars Queen's Gambit again. That would be great. But I'm not seeing that happening.
That won't happen.
I would probably, man, it'd be cool if they did King Oil again. I don't know if they could do that with added production value, but Omega Virus would be one I would choose too.
Oh, Omega Virus. That is a good one.
That would be interesting to see what they could do with that one.
That is a good one. That's a good pick. That's better than the one I had. Little Green Man.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's another good one. Man, you know you're Waddington.
I know a little bit. And so does Tabletop knows more than I do.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Thanks for joining us, Mary.
You're very inspiring, Matt.
Oh, by the way, you need to check out Mary Mayhem. Mary, bring in the Mayhems channel. I congratulated her just a few days ago because she surpassed me by 10 subscribers. And now that number is 60 because she has already crested. Oh, no, it's more than that. She was 10 subscribers above me just a few days ago. Now she's a couple hundred. Like, I think it's 500 now. I mean, she's already in the 5,000s and climbing.
Mary, are you still there? What's your...
It's Mary Mayhem.
Mary Mayhem? Okay, I'm going to find her.
Mary Mayhem. And she has skyrocketed. And that is... I think I signed on to her when she was around 1.74 subscribers, I think. But I've just... Yeah, there it is. There's the magic number right now. 5235. And guess what? I'm still at the same number I was a few days ago. So if we look at the career succession here, there's Matt's path right there. And then Mary's does this. It's kind of like Norm. So y'all have in common.
Whenever I get back on, I'm going to try to help you out there. Because I had a whole playlist of your videos, like right underneath mine. And I think they were doing pretty good too. But since the channel's been down, nothing can happen. Hey, Mary, if you look for Board Game Museum Official. Look, that's the site where everything's going to get transferred to. So feel free to look me up. I'll look you up and subscribe to your channel too. Look at that.
Trade subscriptions. He said they got the license for Omega.
Oh, wow. That is going to be phenomenal. That is going to be great.
Obviously, do what you want. Personally, I love the top 10 list. Do you have an interest in this? Yeah, you know what, man? Eventually, one day, Matt's going to run out of board games to review. That's not happening in the next couple of months because I have as El Wapo would say, a plethora of board games to review. But I am slowing down on my buying a lot more, obviously because of the girls. But it is slowing down. So eventually when I do start running low, you'll know because I have saved up about 7 right now, maybe 10. Top 5, top 10 lists I want to do, but I want to wait until board games start slowly, coming through. And then I'll start doing this. I've been saving those for the past few years. And this past year, we did buy a bundle of games. It was well before the twins were born. I pre-ordered a ton of stuff. Most of it has come in now. There's a few Kickstarters, of course, that won't come in till like next year. But since the twins have been born, the only time I bought games is just recently.
Yeah.
Like Black Friday, I got 2 games coming. So everything else was pre-ordered. So I really didn't have as many games. I'm not getting as many games as I did the year before in 2018. 2019 has been kind of, even though you haven't noticed, because I've had a big backlog, it's been slower than others.
I've mainly been getting just some of the Monopoly game variants because I have a whole feature that I do on them. And maybe I got that new Pac-Man game that you recommended, and maybe a couple of others. But it's been kind of slow for me too. I haven't been buying too much.
Norm's going to pick it up.
I'm definitely going to pick it up. I love Dark Tower. Well, I like Dark Tower a lot.
This man has been talking about this man right here. This man, since we're doing a Brady Bunch reunion here, this man right here has been talking about the Dark Tower reprint, asking ever since Fireball Island got announced. He went, I hope they do Dark Tower next. I'm really excited for them to do Dark Tower. Because I think when they did, what was their first game? Stop Thief.
Yeah.
It was mad because none of us really cared about Stop Thief. And I thought they did an okay job. I was like, you know what? I don't think they're going to take anything like I didn't think they could get Fireball Island. We didn't even know. When they got Fireball Island, then that just opened up like, oh my gosh, they can get anything. They can get anything now.
They totally exploded after that. I think it was like the #1 game on Board Game Geek for a little while. I mean, it got all kinds of press.
He's scheduled for a demo.
Dude, I'd love to hear about that. Tabletop sent me a picture of the new tower. It looks really, really cool. But what I understand about it, and Tabletop, you can correct me, the tower actually reacts to what you're doing in the game. So if you're trying to do something that's going to help you, the tower is going to react negatively to you or something like that. They've got a very interesting dynamic going around, and it also has to do with resource management. I don't know too much else about it, but I know it's a co-op game. But the tower, from what I understand, reacts to what you're doing, which is that sounds like a really cool idea. So definitely looking forward to that one.
Michael, I actually did some Marvel book reviews somewhere else, not on my channel. I did them for a blog, and because I had a big old collection, I just recently sold, like earlier this year, sold all those books. One of the big reasons was, I was probably never going to read it again, and I did have some nice, expensive books. I mean, I had the first printing Death of Elektra. If you know who, what's his name? Bill. Oh no, I forgot his name. He's in the Thor comp books, but I had his first appearance. And I had a lot of good stuff that I'd bought off someone else, but I went ahead and sold it because there were so many boxes. I have a place to put them, and we need to make room. And so I gave them to a collector who's going to keep them, not sell them on eBay, not break up the set. So I'm happy about it. But yeah, I did review a ton of Marvel books. It was last year. And I don't read Marvel that much, to be honest. I'm a DC guy, but I don't really read comic books anymore either.
Speaking of which, Matt, do you have any superhero games that you like? Like we have a few Marvel games. Like, what is it?
Yes, I love the Challenge of the Super Friends card game. It is unbelievably good. If you ever get a chance to pick up a copy, I think on Amazon it's like $9. It's fantastic. I just don't know who it's for. Well, I mean, it's for people who
watch the show.
It's people like us. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm like, who would buy this besides us? No one else would get it. But I love the game. The game is so stinking fun. It's very simple. And I don't even like card games that much.
Yeah, I know.
Someone called me out today and said, Matt, why do you hate card games? Some guy dog on card games. I hate card games. But I have a handful. I mean, a handful of little card games. Most of them are vintage, like the Kubert game. Shirt Tales is a card game.
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard card game. Sabak is a card game. I like, I like Nerds, which is a regular deck of cards game. And then Super Friends. Challenge of Super Friends is fantastic. Fantastic game.
I'll write that down. I remember Aquaman always got kidnapped.
Okay. Questions keep popping in. Do you have interest in designing your own game?
I just don't have the gift, I don't think.
Man of Doom, I unlisted it on my channel only because I didn't feel that it needed to be a regular video. But I posted on Board Game Geek. I actually I just made a fan expansion for Santa's Workshop. And got the artwork, designed stuff. I mean, took the artwork from different other places, but designed it, put it together, play tested it for a couple of times, and then for all but 5 players. I did 2, 3, and 4 players. Didn't test it 5. I tried to, but the person who was supposed to show up didn't show up. And it seems to be pretty solid, pretty smooth, and I like it. Now, I haven't heard from the board game designer, but he does check the page quite frequently, and I'm sure closer to Christmas he'll check it to see what's going on with his channel, and I'm hoping I'll get some accolades from him. Hope he doesn't say, "Oh, this is awful," It is a little weird, but I think it's neat. It was a small little expansion. I think is cool. When I played it with all my friends, I just said, hey, this is just a demo. I'm demoing this. And someone actually, I didn't say it was from me. I said, this is a little fan. And they said, so what do y'all think about this? And they was like, this is really good. We like this. This adds a bunch of things to it, because sometimes there's places where you can't put those elves and you have to waste a position because you're going to get blocked out of places quick. And there's really no other place to throw someone. But now this creates a few more areas and a few more opportunities. And they said it's actually pretty good. And I was like, okay, good. And then someone thought the actual designer designed. I was like, no, I did. But today I didn't want, because I didn't say it was me at first, because I didn't want them thinking, oh, it's Matt, we gotta say something nice about it.
Right.
So I mean, all they said was like, well, we wish the pieces were better. So I just had to, it was a print and play, guys. And they went, yeah, but I hope the pieces will be better when this guy said, well, they're not coming out with it. It's just me. But I'm really happy with it. Now, a bigger board game I'd love to do. In fact, that is another top five games that I would love to design. However, I'm not smart enough, Man of Dew. I don't think. The mini expansion took a long time for me to think through and to play through. I had to tweak it a few times after playing it a few times.
Yeah.
Because I noticed some people weren't utilizing it. If you're not going to utilize the expansion, then it's worthless. So I had to tweak it a little bit, but to design a whole game, if you notice, an expansion is kind of easy because you're piggybacking off of the mechanics and theme and gameplay off of something else. That's a lot easier to do than do your own game. But I would love to. I swear to you, my number one, I'm not going to give it away, because maybe this is something that you, me, and Luke talk about too. I'm just committing Luke to tons of videos now. But the thing is, though, I do have a great idea for my number one. I just don't really know how it works exactly.
I thought about making a game based on my experience as a pilot car driver. Those little cars that escort those oversized loads. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Big trucks. I used to do that. I retired like a month ago. But yeah, I could probably make a game about that job itself. It's it's crazy. A crazy job. But other than that, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. Well, I'll let Norm know my idea when I'm done, because Norm would like it too. But I just think there's so many themes that are out there that people aren't utilizing.
Yeah.
Unique themes. And
like
so
the older ideas from the older games.
I mean, for the longest time, I sat there. My wife was going to Canton, which is a big, huge, thousands of square feet. It is a flea market, huge, giant flea market. And she was off shopping. I was kind of tired. I was sitting down, and I started writing an idea for the first board game I thought about. But I liked the idea, but I couldn't nail it down, some of the specifics. As I kept writing it, I was like, no, you need this. Wait a minute, I need another mechanism that does this. And it was confusing my brain a little bit too much. I was like, what would you do though for that? Yeah. And it's easier said than done. But like I said, the wheels are there. I just don't know how to put the pieces together.
I get ideas, but I just don't know how I would be able to make it work because there's so many different mechanic ideas and just so many things you can do.
Right.
Be kind of like trying to make a masterpiece. That's what I would want to do, but I just don't know if I would have the time or the energy to do it at this stage. But maybe, maybe later in life.
Yeah. And if I did something, it would have to be worker placement, because I love worker placement. But it would be a pretty beginner's level, probably, straight and true. You'd have to come up. It's hard to come up with something unique with worker placement. Worker placement's worker placement, without trying to borrow from. Would I borrow from other games? Probably. But the thing is, though, I want to put a lot of different mechanisms in it. Like, I just explained this on one of my top 100 videos, but Papa Paulo has is area control, it's tile placement, it's a bidding game. I love the game because it takes all of these different, it's area control. I think I said that, but it takes all these different aspects. It's a engine building too, and it puts them together so perfectly. It blends them so well. And that's what I would like in a board game. Something that uses a ton of different mechanics, but they blend really well.
Yeah. I think you would like Apples of Burgundy, because a lot of what the game does is you have buildings, and then you have like a board that has these different terrain tiles on there. You can build building on some, you can build boats on others. But like with the buildings, it'll give you like a different ability. Like if you play a certain building, you can get another building. You can play another building. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in that game, and there's a lot of ways you can score points too. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of like like when you're doing a combo in a game of some kind, like you play something and then you're able to do something else and score points in a rather creative way. That game's like that.
From what I've seen, I don't like, but I need to try it because everyone loves it.
Yeah, I liked it. It's a good game.
Have you read any books on board games? I have not.
I think somebody gave me a book for Christmas. It was like, it's not a large book. I think it was like called The History of Board Games or something. It's just like a picture book that has some descriptions on there. But it started way back in the day, and then it went to they showed some games that had some rather controversial themes and titles and things like that. And I think that Dark Tower was one of the games that they featured in there. But
I haven't
really read any books at all about games.
I have one, The Sinking of the Titanic. That game got one printing, then it got changed to Abandoned Ship because people thought making a game about a real life tragic event was not very tasteful.
Yeah, I had Raise the Titanic's the one I got. That was from the 80s, and it's not expensive to get, but I think it had the same issue because what you do in that game is you scavenge the ship for things like and you're trying to make money off of it and stuff like that. It's a rather unique game, but I could see people getting upset about it. But it's a pretty cool little game.
I just thought about another idea.
Uh-oh, what's that? Here we go.
Vintage board games we wish were better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I could make that list right because I was thinking about a game. I was like, I just wish that was better, but I'm going to save that answer.
We did a discussion about that. Was it last year?
Well, yeah, but
maybe
I know because there's some board games like, man, I love that theme, but I wish it was such a sucky game.
Yeah,
but board games we have too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know Curse of the Idol is a game that we've talked about and stuff.
Oh yeah, we did. No, we did talk about that. We talked about Course of the Idol, the Key of the Kingdom. Yeah,
I think they're redoing that game too.
But games that we don't, I could do that again with games we don't have too.
Yeah,
thinking about that.
Yeah, I instituted some of those house rules, and it made the game pretty cool. But I've had a couple of others, I think.
There you go, Norm.
Yeah, my understanding about the history is there was a lady that came up with an idea called landlords way back, like I think before 1900 or something. And then it's a rather interesting story for sure, that whole game.
Now, I'll be honest, Tabletop, man, I love you, man. I know exactly. You're talking about Waddington, and I love it. The Bigfoot game looks so darn interesting, but it is simple, and that's what kept my finger off the trigger from buying it on eBay. Because have you seen the Bigfoot game?
I haven't.
Oh, wait. Ooh. Is he talking about the Bigfoot? Oh, wait, there's two versions. There's the American version where it's like a foot or something, and then there's the Waddington version where Bigfoot's on a hill, and he's kicking boulders down and knocking people off as they're trying to get to the top of the hill, which I felt was a little too simple.
Yeah,
but more creative than the American version of Bigfoot. I don't know which one he's talking about. So never mind. I need to shut it. Or he could be talking about the didn't they make a Bigfoot
they made
big wheels, the monster truck game? Didn't they make a monster truck Bigfoot
I did
game?
review that. Who is it? One of my subscribers sent me a copy to review. It's Bigfoot 4x4x4. It's like a kid's game, but it's a pretty cool little game. You can push the trucks off the track and you're crushing cars and stuff.
Okay. Reviewed American one. Already talking about the Washington one. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
I had a question, Matt. You may have answered this. Do you like games like war games? Kind of like Conquest of the Empire is a game I know you like.
I love Conquest of the Empire. I love Blood Feud in New York, which is basically the same game, just rethemed for games.
I want to play. I have Fortress America at the house. I haven't played it yet.
I need to play that one. The only thing holding me back is I heard that the only way the Soviets can win if they squash the Americans quickly, but once the Americans gain certain footholds, the Soviets have no chance.
Well, I know that there's 3 different armies that they're going against.
Okay, well, maybe
if you're playing a 2-player game. One person's the Americans, and then the rest of them are all 3 of the other armies. So they're going. So they have to defend the whole country. But
that's another one that I would like to play first.
I haven't played it yet.
Do you have Shogun?
I have samurai swords.
So samurai. That's what I meant. So I want to play samurai swords too because that's
a really good game. I really like that game a lot.
I feel like that's a game I would like too. My finger's been on the trigger on that one for quite some time. But I was like, well, those little battle games, if you have one, do you need them all? But samurai swords looks different.
It is, and the thing I like about the game is, you have this money koku thing that you get, and then you have like 5 different trays where you're distributing it, like control of who goes first, for example. Another one, you can try to hire the ninja. Another one, you can build fortresses. Another one, you can try to buy different types of soldiers. And then and you're just, some of them you're bidding on, and others you just buy straight up. But yeah, I love that aspect of it because you're always having to figure out what you want to do, what you need, what you don't need, and what your opponent's trying to do. Yeah, it's a very cool game. I really like it a lot.
All right, final question. Have you guys house rule games to make them better? Yes. In fact, Luke from Down from the Attic came up with Curse of the Idol house rules, which totally fixed that game. I would never have bought that game if it hadn't been for him and his house rules. Because the game as is sucks.
Yeah, I house rule a lot. If the game's really good and doesn't need fixing, I won't. But like Curse of the Idol needed some help. Forbidden Bridge needed a little bit of help. Key of the Kingdom needs help.
It still needs help.
It still needs help. But I don't do a lot of those. I don't fix a lot of the games. I like, if anything, I might add something to it, like the McDonald's game. Like when Matt, you had those ideas for those expansions and stuff, and I made some. Then I awesome. Made them and stuff. So I might do that, but I don't fix a lot of games. But there's some games that they like. Curse of the Idol looks fantastic, and so does Key of the Kingdom. But
never mind, changing my answer. I want Restoration Games to reprint the McDonald's game.
Yes.
And you know what? They could probably do it. They could probably get the rights for McDonald's.
I am shocked that McDonald's has not.
McDonald's would make a killing.
This game or came up with an idea.
They'd make a killing.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Maybe they don't even know about it. I don't know. The game's from the 70s, but hey, next time you come into Pensacola, maybe we'll go to McDonald's and we'll play the game there. Yeah, I know that's been a dream of yours.
That may happen. All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us for this kind of impromptu. We were going to have it sometime this week. I just didn't know when. Then like a few minutes before we started, I said, "Hey, Norm, want to do it now? The girls are asleep." He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah.
And so thanks for joining us. I know it was a little impromptu, but I wanted to give Norm some time to tell people where he is. He's doing fine, folks. Look at him. Look how good he is. He's been working out too, man. Look how
I do work out. Yes.
I'm telling you. Yeah,
I do appreciate you having me on, man. Thanks so much for helping me while my channel is down.
Of course.
Right now, everything's getting transferred to what's called Board Game Museum Official. That's what I'm calling it. So that's where everything's going to go. If any of you want to go there and subscribe, I'd love to have you. And again, thank you all for all your support. And Matt, thank you so much for helping me out with everything. I really, really appreciate it.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. All right, folks. Well, guys, thanks for being on. We appreciate it. Really great question. I've really enjoyed this. This is board game questions. This is awesome. Fun. I don't get board game questions that much, so I appreciate it. And we'll see you